So my general rule of thumb when investing is that one should invest in companies whose products you use personally. All right. If anybody out there is a newbie, they've not invested in stocks, or even if they invest in stocks, or if they're planning to invest in stocks, I personally believe that everybody should always start with products that they use themselves, or products that they would like to buy for themselves in future and can't wait to have those products because they are great products. The reason why I say this is that when you like a particular product, it adds value to your life, or you think it's a great product that you're just so excited to use, you can't wait to get it for yourselves, chances are there are many other people that are like you who are going to use those products and who see the same thing that you see in that product. So for me personally, my rule of thumb is go get the stocks of those companies, because chances are they are actually great companies and they would go much higher in price because people see the same value that you see in those companies. So for example, if you always find yourself using Netflix every other day, Netflix is your go-to platform for streaming movies, for streaming series and all that stuff, and you can't find yourself doing without Netflix, you have to pay for Netflix subscription every single month, chances are Netflix is giving you great value for your time. And that being said, it's a great product. So my general rule of thumb is go invest in Netflix, because there are many other people like you who would see that same value and therefore also pay for Netflix subscriptions every month. So basically what that just means is that for Netflix bottom line, they are going to be making more money from more subscriptions from people who see the same value in Netflix just like you. So what that automatically means is that the price for their stock over time will go up in price, because they are going to be getting subscribers and people who find value in them will keep subscribing, which means more money in Netflix bank account. And when there's more money in Netflix bank account, it means that their shareholders will definitely get a huge part of those profits in price of the stock. So which means that the price of the stock is going to go up over time. My general rule of thumb when looking for companies is I want to Google for companies that are doing something similar to what I am interested in. So if I am very interested in a product, like for example, I just gave Netflix, okay, I would want to look at other companies that are similar to it as well. So I could just go to Google and Google what are the top 3 streaming platforms in the US, for example, because most people are interested in US stocks from all over the world. So me, I'm more interested in US stocks, but you could also invest in stocks that are in your country as well. So you can look for stocks in Nigeria or companies in Nigeria that are doing what you like. But for this example, I'm just going to stick to US. All right. So when I Google, give me the top 3 streaming platforms in the world, chances are it's probably going to give me Netflix, it's going to give me Disney, and it's also going to give me Amazon Prime. Okay, so these are the top 3 streaming platforms, and then I can now proceed to start doing some investigation about them. Okay, so what are the subscribers? How many subscribers do they have on them? What was their revenue? What was their profit? All that good stuff. All right, to let me now know, okay, which one in particular do I actually want to put my money in? Because out of the top 3, there's always going to be the one that is performing better than the other one. Or if you just want to do a general rule of thumb, you can just, invest in all 3. That's still fine as well, because there's a reason why they are the top 3 if you do not want to do any more in-depth research. But regardless, you would still need to do research and in-depth analysis in order to find the one that is actually worth your money and your time to invest in. And that required some sort of investigation, a little bit more investigation and a little bit more time for you to be able to know the companies to invest in. But thanks to the advent of AI, it's now possible for you to be able to just easily ask a question and then you get the exact response that you're looking for. Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm a car person actually. I'm actually really interested in cars. I love cars. I love everything that has to do with cars. I'm a car guy. So for me being a car guy, I'm looking for the best company to invest in. But within the car industry or within the automotive industry, there's a new category of automotive that is coming into play, which is in its infancy, relatively speaking. It's still in its infancy compared to the other category, and that is electric vehicles. So there's electric vehicles and then there's gas engine vehicles. Gas engine are the ones that every other person drives. I'm sure you're driving. Most people watching this video are driving. I've only seen few electric vehicles in Nigeria. But for electric vehicles, it's just like your phone. You just charge them up at home or at a charging stall and then use it as you would normally use your normal gas car. An electric vehicle is environmentally friendly, so it doesn't emit any of that nasty substances that your car emits whenever you're driving. It also has a low operating cost as well. EVs have low maintenance. You do not have to buy fuel. All you just have to do is take it home and park and then plug it in. That's it. So basically, it's just charging from the electricity that you use in your house to charge it. And also, they are low maintenance as well. For it being an electric vehicle, right, it means that it has less moving parts compared to a gasoline vehicle. Okay, so an electric car really has its batteries, its drivetrain, and that's it. But a gasoline vehicle needs its engine, right? And within that engine, it has a lot of moving parts. Of course, you guys know what I'm talking about. People who your cars have broken down before. Sometimes your fan belt can cut, all right? Sometimes your alternator can be bad. Sometimes it can be your kick. Your kick can be bad. So you can see that there are so many moving parts in a gas vehicle that makes it less efficient, and chances of things breaking are very, very high. So these are the reasons why I feel like electric vehicles are very great. And for me personally, I then want to invest in companies or electric vehicles that customers don't only want to buy, but are selling like crazy. So those are the kind of companies that I want to invest in. Companies whose products are doing well. So for me, normally what I'll just do is I will go to Google and then Google, okay, what are the best electric vehicle companies? And then I will see some results, and then I have to start clicking on links and doing some research and doing all that stuff, right? You don't have to do that anymore. All right, I mean, you can still do that, okay, if you want to still go in depth, because no matter what, you can still always find some minute important details that can still help you choose a company over another company. But that's only when you do like really in-depth research. But regardless, this is a start that can actually help you get much more details than you would normally get if you just, typed in a Google search and then you saw like 1,000 links and you don't really know which one to click on and you're not really sure. Basically, this will save you more time, and it will also give you much more detail for the time that you're actually looking at it. For me, normally I'll do a Google search, right? But now, thanks to the advent of AI like Microsoft Bing, and then also recently with Google Bard as well, I'm going to leave their links in the description below. So anybody that is interested in using them, you can just go ahead and still practice what I am showing you guys over here. But for the companies that you are interested in, obviously everything I say here is not financial advice. This is just how I do it and how it has helped me personally. And if you would like to invest in any company, you should definitely do your research, consult an expert who can also help you in investing or determining the companies that you should invest in. So with that being said, let's get started. So like I was saying, for me personally, I am interested in EV stocks, electric vehicle stocks. I personally am already invested in companies already, all right, that are in the electric vehicle space, or companies that are already doing things that I like. But I just want to show you guys how I would do it. And now that we have AI having to help us go into the web and get the information that we want. So I am interested in electric vehicles, right? So as you can see here on my screen, I'm currently using the Microsoft Bing, all right, which is a search platform from Microsoft, and I'm using their Bing AI. So basically, I just gave it a query, and I just did this recently. I said, give me the top 3 EV companies and their market shares in the US. The reason why I personally chose the US is because US is a very big market for electric vehicles. And mostly you can always use US as a sort of benchmark for all these technology companies. US is the biggest electric vehicle customer in the world. Well, aside from China, all right? But US is, because I am personally interested in US stocks. So you can see it did the search for me. It said top 3 companies market share in the US and then generated the answer. And it said, according to report by Statista, Tesla continues to dominate the EV market with an estimated 302,000 electric vehicles in the United States as of 2021. However, competition is beginning to gain momentum and manufacturers like Ford and General Motors are starting to catch up. Here are the 3 top EV companies and their market shares in the US as of January 2023. So this is it's giving me a much more updated information. All right. So it's saying Tesla is the leader, which is by 57%. Chevrolet, which is General Motors, is 8.5%, and Ford is 7.7%. So by this now I can already tell, okay, so this information that it's giving me is giving me based on a search it has done already, which is this, right? And then it has given the information. Okay, now if I want to do more research, it's very, very possible for me to find out. Sometimes what happens is that I've noticed that with this search, sometimes they might not be 100% perfect in their examples. Like for example, it says Tesla is 57%, right? But if I do some much more in-depth research, I could find out that maybe Tesla is 62% and Chevy is probably 10% and Ford is probably 9%, right? But it always tends to give you around the figure. And for me, I know this is correct. This is around the accurate percentage because I know that Tesla, personally, I'm a Tesla investor and I already know that Tesla actually is the biggest EV manufacturer in the world and also in the US. But let's just assume I didn't know. So from this, I can already tell that Tesla is leading, and truly Tesla is actually leading. But I want to find out more information, like how many cars are they delivering? Okay, how many cars is Tesla delivering? How many cars is Chevrolet or General Motors, it's also called General Motors, how many cars are they delivering, and how many cars did Ford deliver as well? Mind you guys, this is a little bit misleading because only one of them is actually purely electric vehicle, and that is Tesla. Every single car that Tesla produces is 100% electric. But for General Motors, which already has 8.5% share, they produce electric vehicles and they also produce gas vehicles as well, same as Ford. Okay, so put that at the back of your mind when I'm doing this research. As for this search, something you should also know is that you're only giving 20 questions at a time. At least for me, I am only giving 20 questions at a time. I think it starts with about 5 questions and then it can go up to 20, and this is the maximum they can give you at a time. So all the questions you can ask in a thread can be 20 questions at a time, else you would have to kind of click on this and then wipe up the topic and then start all over again. So I'm just going to say, how many vehicles did they deliver in the last quarter? So I just asked this now, how many vehicles did they deliver in the first quarter of 2023? Okay, it just gave me a response. So sometimes these charts, these AI charts, sometimes they're not so smart like that. You just have to kind of like give them a little bit more detail for them to respond to you. But for this, it only gave me Tesla's Q1 delivery of 2023. All right, so we have 4 quarters in a year. So every quarter is 3 months. So every quarter is 3 months. So so far we've already had 1 quarter. The first quarter of 2023 has already passed, which is January, February, March. During those times, companies come out to give their report on how much they made, how many vehicles they deliver, or how many products they delivered. As long as it's a public company, right? They tell you how many products they delivered, how much they made, if they are losing money, if they're making money, all that stuff. So I just asked it, how many vehicles did they deliver in the first quarter of 2023? But instead of giving me a response to these 3, I meant the 3 of them. I guess it didn't really understand the context, so it only gave me Tesla, its Q1 deliveries. All right, so you can see right here it says Tesla delivered 422,875 vehicles globally in Q1 of 2023, which is a new all-time high. So I can now clearly see that, okay, not only have I seen that Tesla has the biggest share of about 57%, and this sometimes can even be more, like I said, right? Now they've delivered 422,000 vehicles, right, in Q1 on 2023, which is its all-time high. Now, and I want to see how many vehicles did General Motors deliver in Q1 of 2023. We're going to ask the question, how many vehicles did Ford and General Motors deliver. Alright, so I just asked it, how many electric vehicles did Ford and General Motors deliver in Q1 2023? Okay, because we've just found out how many vehicles Tesla delivered, right, which is 422,000. Now, see the way I asked this question. Remember I said Tesla was the only natural EV manufacturer. All the vehicles that Tesla make is electric. They don't produce gas engine car. Everything is electric vehicles. But Chevy and Ford, they make electric vehicles and they also make gas engined cars. So I had to ask how many electric vehicles, because if I had said how many vehicles did General Motors and Ford produce, it will give me a totally different number as to what it just gave me. Okay, so I had to ask how many electric vehicles did Ford and General Motors deliver in Q1 2023. Mind you, these things are not perfect yet, so sometimes you kind of like have to help them a little bit and also understand the questions you are asking it for it to respond to you. But if you know the right questions to ask, it will give you the exact response that you want. Okay, and if it can't give you the exact response, obviously there's still the option of doing a little bit more research or asking it the question in a different way. So these things are not like perfect yet, but they are close to, they help you get the job done. So I asked it this, and then now the response it has given me is, according to Inside EVs, General Motors delivered over 20,000 plug-in vehicles in US Q1 of 2023. So 20,000 vehicles compared to 422,000 vehicles. You can see why Tesla is the leading one. All this is just telling me is that, okay, they are still not close or even remotely close to Tesla. And these are supposed to be the top 3 electric vehicle producers in the US. Tesla is still leading. Right now, it has given me the one for the one for General Motors, but for some reason, it can't seem to find the Q1 2023 sales for Ford, because it says here, Q1 2023 sales surged across its areas of strength, including trucks and 3-rows SUV. But however, I couldn't find the exact number of electric vehicles delivered by Ford in Q1 of 2023. Now, especially when it comes to information like this, when you can't find it, this is where doing a little bit more research can give you the response. Okay, and I'm going to be showing you guys in this video how to get that result, especially when you're doing a research about a company. When you can't find it by just asking Bing, you can always find it another way, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So now I'm interested in revenue, right? I want to see how much they made. So I'm just going to start with how much revenue did Tesla make in 2023, Q1 2023. So you see, I've rephrased my question. How much revenue did Tesla, General Motors and Ford make for EVs, electric vehicles, in Q1 of 2023? So now I'm going to see the response he gave. Okay, so sorry, I couldn't find the revenue made by Tesla, General Motors and Ford for EVs in Q1 2023. However, according to Inside EVs, Tesla Q1 2023 revenue was $15.2 billion. Now I can start to see that, okay, it's really not finding the information for Ford and General Motors for some reason. I can still ask the question in another way. Okay, when I see it's not giving me the response I want, I could say, okay, I'm going to ask it individually. And mind you, I asked this question specifically for EVs. Okay, because if I just said how much revenues did Tesla, General Motors and Ford make in 2023, it's going to give me their general revenues. Because remember I said Ford and General Motors are not just strictly EV manufacturers. So really, the reason why it's giving me a response like this that's not so clear is technically because of the fact that these other companies, they put everything together, their EV sales and their gas powered vehicle sales. When I'm asking for a specific question like this, it might not give me that kind of response that I want. Okay, because for that I might just have to ask it the question in a different way, or I might have to be much more specific, and if the company actually makes it clear, it will find that information and give it to me. So in this case, I'm just going to ask the question in a different way. So in this case, I'm asking how much revenue did Ford make selling EVs in Q1 of 2023. So let's see if it will find that information. So you can see that it has provided it in a different way right now. Okay, so you see the other time I said how much revenue did Tesla General, I jumbled everything together. And if that these companies were naturally electric vehicle companies, it will be very easy for you to find for me and then just give it to me, okay? But being that I mumbled a naturally electric vehicle company and the rest were different, he couldn't really find. He said, I'm sorry, I couldn't find the revenue made by Tesla, General Motors and Ford for EVs in Q1 of 2023. But for this now, I have said Ford electric vehicle revenue for 2023. That was the search for me. And then it says here, according to Electrek, because mind you, it's fetching this information from places, from articles, from analyst updates and stuff like that. It's fetching it from all over the web and just giving it to you, right? And obviously, if I would like to read more on this, you can see as I hover my mouse on top of this, you can see that this is where it's fetching this information from. This is basically an article by Electrek, and in the article, if I want to click on it, I can click on it to read more on it. This is where I'm saying that if you wanted to do more research, you can always do more research by just clicking on the links that it's got the information from for you to be able to read more on it and find out more information on it. Basically, it makes your work easier for you. So according to Electrek, Ford Model E EV segment, Ford actually calls their electric vehicle segment Model E, okay, which is very correct. So Ford Model E EV segment generated $700 million in revenue in Q1 of 2023. Let's see the difference here, guys. Tesla provided a revenue of $15 billion in electric vehicles, while Ford generated $700 million, not even up to $1 billion in revenue of Q1 in 2023. So you can see why Tesla is the giant here. So you can see the difference here, guys. All right, this is why I've been specific in give me EVs. Don't just give me their revenues, give me their EV revenues. That is because Ford and General Motors, they don't only produce EVs, they also produce traditional gas engine vehicles, okay? And Ford reached a revenue of $41 billion. So that's a lot compared to its EV segment. So its EV segment is still very small. So we can clearly start to see from this that, okay, the winner in this case for electric vehicle is Tesla, no other person, okay? But just for curiosity's sake, let's keep on researching. Now I'm going to do the same thing I did for this, but for General Motors. Let's see if it will find the information for me. Okay, so it still gave me the same response. According to Inside EV, General Motors delivered 20,000 plug-in vehicles in the US in Q1 2023, but it couldn't find the revenue made for EVs in Q1 2023. So I want to re-ask the question and say, how many electric vehicles did Ford deliver in Q1 2023? But nevertheless, if it doesn't still give me the answer I'm looking for, then I will still show you guys where to search. Okay, so it already gave me an answer. So it said, according to Shark News, Ford shipped 4,291 of its F-150 Lightning truck EV. However, I couldn't find the number of electric vehicles Ford delivered in Q1 of 2023. Anyways, this is actually a good answer. I mean, in Nigeria here, mostly what is common is Toyota Tacoma and Tundra and other, but there's also Ford, the equivalent of that, which is Ford F-150. There's also the electric version of that as well, and that's actually a pretty cool truck. So Ford delivered 4,291 of those EVs in 2021, in Q1 2021. So we can kind of get that, okay, so Ford delivered 4,200 vehicles of the F-150. That's actually its most popular electric vehicle. I'll just take what they say here, because Ford doesn't actually have any other big vehicles, electric vehicle, that they are manufacturing so far. And even with that, they only produce 4,291. But like I said, I'll still show you guys how to find out more information, especially public companies. When you're researching information about them, there's always one place to be able to get all the information that you need. And you can still use this Bing AI to help you out. But that's fine. All this information that it's just giving me is just basically letting me know that, okay, there's just one winner here, which is Tesla, okay? But however, it's one thing for a company to make revenue, and then it's another thing for a company to make profit. Okay, so as you can see here, I've asked the question and then here is the response. According to teslanorth.com, which obviously you can see here, once I hover my mouse over it, it's even giving me the link to the place where it got the information from, so I can go and verify it. And obviously I can even search more on the web to see where else to verify it from as well. And these are other links to also still look to verify this information from as well. So according to TeslaNorth.com, Tesla's Q1's earnings report, its revenue was $23 billion, which is up 24% year over year, while its net income is $2.5 billion. So out of the $23 billion that Tesla made from selling their vehicles, how much did they keep? Tesla kept $2.5 billion. Now I'm going to ask the question for Ford. How much did Ford keep after selling its electric vehicles? All right, this is why I said there's a difference between how much money did you make and how much money did you keep. All right, so we saw that Ford made $700 million, right, in delivering its vehicles. And I asked the question here, how much net income did Ford make from selling electric vehicles? And you can see, according to Electrek, Ford's Model E EV segment generated $700 million in revenue in Q1 of 2023. That's what we already know. A decrease from 27% from last year. And Ford's Model E operating losses swelled to $722 million. So basically, Ford actually lost $22 million from selling electric vehicles, while Tesla, as we can see, made $2.5 billion. Ford lost $22 million because they made $700 million and then they lost $722 million. So basically the $700 million here will cancel this $700 million here, and then the $22 million will be their loss. So Ford is actually at a loss selling electric vehicles. Now I'm going to ask the same question for General Motors, but I don't think I'm going to get a good response. So for something like General Motors now is where, if I was very more curious about finding more information about why General Motors isn't doing well, I would have to do much more research to find out specifically what I'm looking for, and I'll show you guys how to get it. But right now, let's just use the Bing chart as much as we can before we go on to the next step. Okay, so I couldn't really find the information for General Motors selling just electric vehicles. That's because General Motors doesn't actually show information that they put out there that this is the amount they made or lost from selling electric vehicles. Okay, so I asked it first time, how much net income did General Motors make from selling electric vehicles, and then it gave me the figure for General Motors general net income. So because General Motors doesn't uniquely put the information out there for just their electric vehicle as Ford did, you know, Ford gave us their unique information for how much they are generating from selling just EVs and how much they lost. But General Motors doesn't do that. It groups everything together to kind of like hide the losses and all that. Okay, so right now it says here, according to New York Times, General Motors net income in the first 3 months of the year fell to $2.4 billion from 2.9 in the first quarter of 2022. But you see, it didn't say General Motors electric vehicle, it just said General Motors net income, which is generalizing the whole company together, which means it fell to $2.4 billion from 2.9. okay, and that's it. And then I asked the question that I need net income for General Motors selling electric vehicles, just electric vehicles, right? And he said, I'm sorry, but I couldn't find the income for General Motors selling electric vehicles in Q1 of 2023. And it says, however, I just reiterate the information that's given us before, that it sold over 20,000 electric plug-in vehicles, right? So that's not what I want. But however, I've gotten the gist of what I want. So far over here, we've been able to see that, okay, Tesla is actually making money and they're actually keeping their money in selling electric vehicles. Because when I started telling you guys about my interest for cars and where I want to be investing in, I told you guys that I'm interested in investing in electric, not gas engine vehicle. If you want to invest in gas engine vehicles, you can do all the things that I've done, but for gas engine, I'm sure you'll find totally different results. All right, but electric vehicle is where I'm interested in, and these guys have just shown that there's one clear winner, which is Tesla, and they are making money. All right, so Tesla made a revenue of 23, kept 2.5 billion. Ford lost $22 million, and then General Motors, it's not even showing what they even do. All right, so that's that for this. All right, and obviously you can ask more questions if there's anything you would like to find out more about it. you can always ask, like, let's say you don't know the question to ask. You do not know what question to ask when looking at stock. You can also ask Bing as well. What should I look out for? Now, I'm sure it will give me a much more generalized answer, but it's a start, right? What should I look out for when analyzing a company or when researching a company to invest in? All right. So it has already said it here. These are the 3 things to look out for. So the CEO, who is the CEO, financial position, financial statements. For me, I already understand Tesla. I already know who Tesla's CEO is. In fact, I'm a big fan of the CEO, which is Elon Musk. The financial position, I have already seen where their financial position is, and one of it is how much cash they actually keep or how much cash they actually make, their net income, which in this case Tesla made 2.5 billion. Ford actually lost $22 million, but just selling EVs, and then the financial statements and all that. Anyways, so if you don't actually know what to ask, okay, you can always come here to Bing Chat and actually ask the question like, okay, so I am new to stock investing. Tell me what are the things to look out for, okay? And obviously, if you also want to look at what other factors to consider, you can compare both companies. The sky is your limit with this chat box. They basically just help you get started in getting started. And also too, I said here, what are the other factors to consider? It said, look at the growth potential. Tesla has room to grow. Electric vehicles have room to grow. Electric vehicle is still pretty much new compared to gas-powered vehicles. So if you want to talk about growth potential, electric vehicles growth potential is going to really explode. Now, in order to find out some more information that you can't just find from just researching over here, over at the Bing search, what you can now do is find some more information, because mind you, these companies that we've just tried looking for are all public companies. So all public companies are obligated to give a financial report every quarter, every year. All right, so we have January, February, March, that's first quarter. Then the next quarter will be April, May, June. So July will probably do the report for second quarter of the year. All right, so basically they have to give a report no matter what for how their company is doing, how many vehicles they sold, whatever they did, they'll have to give a report for that. So with that being said, whatever information you can't find on Bing search due to some factors, then you now have to go and download the company's financial statement or the financial report. They call it earnings report or financial report. Okay, so where do you view a financial report for a company? It's still very simple. You can come to Bing and Bing will help you do that as well. As you can see, I want to get Tesla's Q1 financial report because we just finished the first quarter of the year, right? So second quarter is not here yet. We've just done first quarter. So all I just did was ask Bing, get me Tesla Q1 financial reports, and all he just did was give me the exact report. So in this case, I didn't specify the year, but it already knew I meant 2023. But in the situation whereby it doesn't give you the year, you can also be more specific. You can also say, get me Q1 2023 financial report, and then it's also going to give you, if you want 2020, if you want 2022, if you want 2008, if you want 2009, it will give you the financial report. So in this case, I just said get me the financial report, and then it found it out for me. So it says here, Tesla has released its financial results for the first quarter of 2023 by posting an update on its investor relations website. You can view the update on their website at this link here. So you can either go to the website by just copying this link, because as I already said, you can view the update on the website by copying this link, or you can see if I hover my mouse on top of this, it's also still taking me to the website as well. You can see ir.tesla.com is the same thing as this, but this one is for 2022 and then this one is for 2023. So there are two links embedded in that statement that it gave me. So there are two links. So I want the one for 2023. I can just click on this and it takes me to the one for 2023. Or in the bottom here, these are also links as well. So in the first one is for 2023. You can see Tesla releases first quarter 2022 financial results. That's not what I want. This one is for 2023. This is the one I want. So I can either click on this. So there are different ways to get there, because I've already requested for it. It's just going to give me, it has given me different ways to get to where I want. All right. So that's for Tesla. I also asked for Ford. You can see I also did the same thing. Get me Ford's Q1 financial report. It also did the same thing for me. So if I hold my mouse on top of this, I can basically click on this and it will get me to Ford's financial reports. Or you see it also stays here. You can find more information about Ford's whatever at their website. I can just copy this link, or this link right now. I can just copy it and then paste it in my browser. It will get me the link as well. Or I can come here at the learn more, click on it, and it will show me the financial report. So basically, when you're looking for any company, this one is for automotive because I am interested in automobile, right? But it can be for any company that you're looking for. Whenever you want to get their financial report, any company it is, come to Bing, ask it, it will get you the financial report. So all you can just do is click on the link, copy it however you want to do it, and then you can view it from there. So anyways guys, this is what Tesla's financial report actually looks like. So this is Q1 2023 update, and you can see it has everything: the highlights, financial summary, operational summary. It has everything in here. As you can see, this is actually a lot of information. This is an information for investors to be able to see how well the company is doing, how well it's growing, to see basically what it's going to be doing in future, its growth in the future, all that stuff. All right, you know, this is like one of their next vehicles that I'm really excited about. This is called the Cybertruck, for those of you who don't even know what I'm talking about, but this is a product I'm actually very excited for. So me as an investor, I download the financial report of the company, and then I take a look at all this to see what is happening, what the growth is going to be like, all that stuff. It shows me pictures, it shows me graphs, it shows me everything, okay, to see the company. So these are the financial statements to read more on what if the company is making money or if they're losing money, whatever. This is it. Okay, now this is a lot of information. Yeah, you're interested in finding out to see if the company is doing well, but at the same time you don't really have time to read through all this, or all this information are overwhelming. All right now, thanks to advent of AI as well, this is now very possible for you to be able to do. Now I know that this feature is available on the desktop, so I don't know if it's actually available on your mobile device, but if it is, I would let you guys know in the comment section. But so far I've only been able to use this on the desktop, on my desktop or my laptop. All right, so for those of you who want to analyze a financial report and all that stuff, or want a summary of, and it could be anything, this is a financial report, right? I can also have a storybook here, a storybook in a PDF format, right? Or a website, or anything at all. So in this case, I want it to boil down all this information for me, all this gibberish. I want it to boil it down to a couple of texts for me. So when you have your Microsoft Edge app, this is actually going to be very similar. So all you just have to do is come over here, click on this spot over here, click on it. You can see it has a little version of the Bing chart here. So over here we have the Bing chart, which is the one, what we've just been using. And over here it has compose. If you click on this, you can compose. So you can tell it to do whatever you want. You can tell it to write a speech for you. You can tell it to write a text for you. You can tell it to do whatever. So basically this is just like your own AI within the browser to do what you want it to do for you. So in this case, I can tell it to do something for me, write an email, Medium. You can see it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool app. This is the Insights tab, where to be able to discover more features and stuff like that. But anyways, this is what we are mainly interested in right now in the chat. So in this chat right now, I'm going to tell it to give me a summary of what's on screen of this page. Okay, that's what I'm going to say. Give me a summary of this page, and you see what it's going to do right now. So it tells me, so it's telling me this page may contain private information, so conversation won't be saved after this point, because it does save conversations. Okay, so now it's giving me a summary. Here's a summary of the current page context. The current page context is a financial summary of Tesla's Q1's 2023 updates. It even knows what this is about. So Tesla's operating margin on Q1 was 11.4%, and it had a 2.7 billion. See, all this is fine and good. It has actually condensed all this information. It has actually brought it down to just a couple of sentences, right? That's all fine and good, okay? But I want something much more concise and precise. I want something, in fact, in bullet points. Just give me bullet points, okay, of the key things I need to know. Now I can still find out more if I want, but I just want some key informations. Here's all I just need to do, okay? Give me what are the key metrics for Tesla. That's what I'm just going to do. So I can type it or I can click here. So the question is already here, so I'm just going to click it because it's a suggested question. So I'm going to say, what are the key metrics for Tesla? Let's see what it says. So as you can see, here are the key metrics. The current web page context is a financial summary of Tesla's Q1 2023 update. The key metrics are as follows. Tesla automotive revenues. How much did they actually sell in cars? Okay, everything that has to do with the automotive side of it. Okay, so that's $19,963 million. Energy generation and storage revenue, because Tesla doesn't only make cars, they also provide energy storage solutions as well. That was a $1.529 billion, so basically $1.5 billion. Services and other revenue was $1.8 billion. Total revenues, everything combined together, was a $23.3 billion business. That's what it generated for Tesla just between January, February and March. It was a $23 billion business. Now their gross profit was $4.5 billion. That's before tax and everything. That was their gross profit. Operating expenses to run the business and everything was $1.8 billion. Income from operations was $2.6 billion. Adjusted EBITDA was $2.6 billion. And all these things, you can always find out what it means. Okay, so if I want to ask what does adjusted EBITDA mean, it will tell me. You don't have to be a novice and not understand what you're looking for. Or within the app, you can ask, what does it mean? So you can see it says here, adjusted EBITDA stands from adjusted earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation and amortization. So everything that you made before all these things, before you have to pay interest, taxes, depreciation and amortization. So it's a financial metric that is used to measure the profitability of a company. It's calculated by taking the earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation and amortization, and then adjusting it for any one-time expense or gains that are not part of the company's normal operations. Anyways, basically it's just the money you make before all the things are minus from it. So this is what Tesla actually made. The adjusted EBITDA was $4.2 billion, and then the net income attributable to common stockholders, which is GAAP, all right, is $2.5 billion. This is actually their net income. This is how much Tesla actually made. Okay, and like I said, all these things, you see, we just found out what adjusted EBITDA mean. You can find out what this GAAP mean. You can find out what non-GAAP mean. It's all in your hands, guys. It's all in your hands. You can find out any information. You can read. You see how we've just boiled down all these 29 pages of information. Okay, I'm sure there's still more things you can find out in here. If you want to even ask it some more context, like what is Tesla's outlook, it can still tell you. But it's basically giving all the information here, right? All the major information that you really want to know. So basically it also still give you earnings per share attributable to common stockholder. This is actually what you're really concerned about, common stockholder, because every other person, you and I, are all common stockholders. This is why I said this is what we should be looking out for. This is how much they actually made in concern to us, the common stockholders. All right, basically this is not a video of me telling you how to read a financial statement, but I'm just showing you that this advent of AI, especially with Microsoft Bing, has made it very possible for the average Joe, somebody who doesn't even have any idea of what to even look out for, to first of all start with the research of asking Bing, what do I actually need to look out for when looking for a company to invest in? It gave you the CEO, the financial statements, the company, the product, the customers. Basically, it gave you all that stuff, okay? And then from there, you can now start getting into all these things of finding out, okay, how do I actually read this? And I won't lie, most of the things in here, I personally don't even know how to read them. I just know that, okay, the company is doing good. This is how much they delivered last year. This is how much they delivered last quarter. This is how much they delivered this quarter. This is how much they project to deliver next few quarters. I know they are doing well in general. I know it to do well. And also too, the very first thing I said, which is make sure you like the product you are investing in. I personally love Tesla. I love the products. I love the company, I love the thoughts about the company, I love everything. So to me, I know that no matter what, long time the company will do well, but still I still also like to look at all this just to see how well it's doing. Okay, that's kind of like re-strengthens my faith in the company, that yes, this is a company that will do well long term. And like I said, Tesla is doing a lot of cool things that is not even listed in here, and it's pretty cool. Okay, so don't forget, this AI, being AI is your friend. Okay, so anyways, that's it for this part of the video, and for the sake of not making this video run too long, in the next video I'm going to be giving to you guys, I'm going to be showing you how I now proceed to actually invest in this stock. So now I've actually seen that Tesla is the king, Tesla is great, Tesla is doing well, outselling these other guys, even making more profit and keeping money in the bank even more than these other guys. They don't have a lot of debts and all that stuff, right? Now I know Tesla is awesome. Now in the next video, I'm now going to show you guys how I now actually proceed to invest in Tesla or any other company that I may be interested in, how I actually do that. All right, so that will be seen in the next video. So definitely don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and if you have any comments for me or any suggestion on what kind of video you would like to see next after the next video, definitely let me know in the comment section down below as well. That's it for now, and I definitely appreciate the effort that you guys put in to support me, even though I've not been consistent for a while now. But you know, thanks for being there for me. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next video. All right, cheers guys.